I did an allocation of 500,000, an allocation of 300,000, and I need to give Meredith credit because she actually started this
Allison,
chart.
I think this is maybe a good point to stop this before lunch. You know, what you're leading in a direction here is we're assuming that we're going to achieve this $900,000 savings by further cuts for them departments. I don't think that's really the true direction that this.
I was just giving you background.
Okay,
There's
that's
one more
fine.
slide.
And we have, yeah, well, we have that, but in your next slide says, you know, the action we need. If you want to move to that next slide, and we're going to break for lunch.
Okay.
And Tom, could you communicate with all the department heads that are in town, if they can, to be here this afternoon? Because I think it's the will of, I think it's the will of this board. You know, we've come to resolve of this close to over $4 million deficit by negotiating with the bargaining units and whatnot, but we still are out about $1 million. And I think we're going to end this day with clear direction of how to close that gap. So that's good. I think if I get the support of the board, that's the goal of this board this afternoon, to come with a clear direction how to close that roughly $1 million deficit. And so that's by having all the department heads here, nobody feels left out, because everything's on the table. And so if you want to finish that last slide, Allison, then we'll break for lunch.
Okay, well, let me just point you to the far right column where it says FTE for 3 months at the 900,000, and that takes the total for each department for the $900,000 being spread, translates it into FTE for a 3-month period if you were looking at layoffs. This is presented as background information so that you've got a sense of what we're looking at. There's not a sense that you're going to work off this immediately. I would also say that variations of this chart are possible, and if you tell me what you want, I can produce that. So, last slide. Taking action today would be to remind of the hiring freeze, approving the side letters of agreement, and authorizing layoffs in terms of the total numbers, or up to numbers, for HHSA and any layoffs planned for the county, and just indicating that the board is resolute in addressing this challenge and committed to ending the fiscal year in balance, which I think you're showing by your direction here.
And that's where we're going to break for lunch, and we're going to start right there with that slide on the wall when we come back. We'll be back at 1:30.